When you decide to remain silent after being disrespected, you force the other person to sit with their own words and actions. You take away the immediate satisfaction they were hoping for, the reaction, the argument, the emotional outburst. Without that, they are left with nothing but their own behavior staring back at them. And that's when the truth starts to reveal itself. Those who disrespect others often do so in order to provoke a response, to shift blame, or to feel powerful. They feed off chaos and thrive on dragging you into their negativity. But when you stay silent, you don't give them what they want. Instead, you create a space where they are forced to confront their own behavior. Silence is uncomfortable for those who are guilty. It's in that silence that they start questioning themselves. Did they go too far? Did they say something they shouldn't have? Were they wrong? Without your reaction to distract them, they begin to realize that the issue was never with you. It was always with them. Then there are the people observing. The ones who may not have spoken up at the moment, but are paying attention. Your silence becomes a mirror that reflects the truth for everyone to see. The more you say nothing, the more their words and actions expose the truth. People start noticing patterns. They begin to recognize the true source of the problem. They see who is doing the harm and who is rising above it. In some cases, your silence will reveal the true character of the person who disrespected you. If they were wrong but genuinely care, they will feel the weight of their actions. They will reflect, regret, and seek to make amends. But if they were never sincere from the start, their next move will reveal everything you need to know. Some may try to gaslight you, making you feel like you're overreacting or acting as if nothing happened. Others may lash out even more because your silence threatens their sense of control. Either way, the truth eventually comes out. Silence is a test of character, not yours but theirs. How someone reacts to your silence speaks volumes about who they truly are. Those with a conscience will feel it. Those with an agenda will expose themselves. And the people who never valued you will show you exactly why they don't deserve access to you. Your energy is one of the most precious things you have. It fuels your mind, your emotions, your decisions, and your ability to move through life with clarity. But the truth is, not everyone deserves access to it. When someone disrespects you, they're not just attacking your dignity. They're trying to pull you into a space where they control your emotions. They want to dictate how you feel, how you react, and how you move. And if you let them, you're giving away your power without even realizing it. Every time you react in anger, frustration, or even hurt, you're giving away a piece of your energy. You're letting them dictate your mood. You're letting them shift your focus from what truly matters to a battle that's beneath you. And the more energy you give to these situations, the more drained you become, mentally, emotionally, and even physically. Some people don't come into your life to protect your energy, support you, or uplift you. They come to disrupt your peace. They come to test you, poke at your emotions, and see how much control they can have over you. If you respond to every act of disrespect, every rude comment, every negative moment, you're allowing them to pull you down to their level. That's why you need to be intentional about protecting your energy. Think about how you feel after engaging in conflict. It's exhausting. It lingers in your mind, and it steals your focus from the things that actually matter. Now think about how you feel when you let things go. When you choose not to give them your energy. There's peace in that. There's strength in that. There's wisdom in that. Protecting your energy means setting boundaries. Not just physically, but emotionally. It means understanding that you don't have to engage in every battle that presents itself. It means realizing that some people provoke you only because they know they can get a reaction out of you. The moment you stop responding, you take away their ability to manipulate your emotions. It's not about letting disrespect slide. It's about choosing where your energy goes. Some things aren't worth your time. Some people aren't worth your response. And some situations don't deserve your presence. You don't have to entertain every conflict, every insult, every attempt to pull you into negativity. Because every time you do, you're draining yourself of the energy that could be used to build, to grow, and to focus on what truly matters. And the reality is, the more you protect your energy, the more you elevate. The more you elevate, the less you're affected by things that once had the power to upset you. You begin to recognize that your energy is sacred, that peace is priceless, and that nothing, absolutely nothing, is worth disturbing that. There's a certain power in silence that words can never have. When you choose not to react to disrespect, you send a message without ever having to say a word. Silence demands respect. It communicates that you are not easily shaken, that you are in control of yourself, and that you refuse to entertain anything that doesn't align with your worth. That kind of self-discipline commands respect. People expect a reaction when they disrespect you. They want to see if they can rattle you, if they can pull you into an argument, if they can make you feel small. But when you remain silent, you disrupt their expectations. You remove their ability to control the situation, and suddenly, they're the ones feeling uneasy. Silence forces them to question themselves, to wonder what you're thinking, to realize that you're not playing the game they wanted you to play. True strength isn't in how loud you can be, but in how little you allow others to control your emotions. When you remain silent in the face of disrespect, people start seeing you differently. They begin to understand that you're not someone who can be easily provoked. They recognize that you're not desperate for validation, that you don't need to defend yourself to people who were never really listening in the first place. That kind of composure shifts the power dynamic. There's something about silence that unsettles people who thrive on chaos. They don't know what to do with it. If you argue, they feel victorious. If you explain yourself, they feel important. But when you give them nothing, they're left with their own words, their own actions, their own conscience. And in that moment, they are forced to sit with the reality of what they've done. Not everyone will acknowledge your silence right away, but they'll feel it. They'll notice that you're not engaging the way they expected. They'll sense that you're unbothered. And whether they admit it or not, they'll start to respect you for it. Because silence isn't passivity, it's control. It's choosing to hold your power rather than giving it away to someone who never deserved it. People learn how to treat you based on what you tolerate. If you constantly respond to disrespect, you teach others that they can provoke you whenever they want. But when you withhold your energy, when you make it clear that you're not interested in entertaining their negativity, you force them to adjust how they approach you. Even those who once disrespected you will begin to realize that you're not someone they can play with. Silence makes people wonder. It makes them question whether they underestimated you. It makes them reflect on whether they've misjudged your strength. Because the truth is, those who are truly powerful don't need to prove anything to anyone. They don't need to explain themselves, justify themselves, or argue their worth. They carry themselves with a quiet confidence that speaks louder than any words ever could. When you choose silence, you give yourself the greatest gift, clarity. In a world where everyone is rushing to speak, to be heard, to react, the one who stays quiet holds the real power. Silence is not weakness, it is not submission. It's a strategy, a discipline, and a tool for seeing beyond the noise. It allows you to step back, to listen, to absorb, and to truly understand what's happening around you. Most people reveal their true intentions when you stop talking and start observing. Pay attention to what is said when you are not engaging. Watch how people reveal themselves when they think you're not paying attention. People behave differently when they feel they don't need to impress you, when they believe you're not paying attention. Listen closely, not just to the words, but to the tone, to the body language, and to what's left unsaid. Silence creates space for truth to come to light. When you stay quiet, you begin to notice patterns. You start recognizing who talks just to be heard, who speaks to manipulate, and who speaks with real intent. You see who listens, who dismisses, who avoids certain subjects, and who alters their tone based on who's around them. You start seeing who truly values you and who just wants to use you. These things can't be noticed when you're constantly talking, explaining, or defending yourself. Silence pushes people to reveal themselves. Some may think it's indifference, while others might feel uneasy with it. Pay attention to how they react. Those who respect you will appreciate your presence, whether you speak or not. Those who are insecure will try to provoke, test, or force a reaction from you, just to feel like they have control. Those with hidden motives will start to show themselves because they won't be able to deal with the stillness. Being silent doesn't mean being passive. It doesn't mean tolerating disrespect or injustice. It means choosing when to speak and when to listen. It's about understanding that not every situation needs your voice. Not every argument deserves your energy. And not every person deserves an explanation. The less you react, the more you can observe. The less you explain, the more people show you their true selves. Silence teaches patience. It gives you the chance to gather information before making a decision, to look beyond the surface before forming an opinion, and to understand motives before giving your trust. It protects you from unnecessary conflicts, from wasting energy, and from engaging in battles that don't benefit you. And the most powerful thing about silence is that it makes people wonder. It keeps them guessing, forcing them to sit with their own words and actions without your reaction to shift the blame or redirect focus. It makes them question if they've underestimated you, if they've misjudged your strength, or if they've been too comfortable around you. Because when you stop giving away your energy freely, people start realizing just how valuable it really is. There's a difference between standing up for yourself and wasting energy on battles that are beneath you. Not everything that comes your way deserves a response. Not every insult, every slight, or every act of disrespect needs to be addressed. The moment you realize this, you step into a level of power that few ever reach. People will try to drag you into their chaos. They'll provoke your emotions, test your patience, and bait you into an argument. Why? Because they want your energy, they want your attention, they want to feel important enough to affect you. And the moment you react, you give them exactly what they were after. Your time, your focus, your peace. You don't have to fight every battle. Some things are distractions in disguise. Some arguments are designed to drain you, not solve anything. Some conflicts are traps, meant to pull you down to a level that you don't belong on. When you learn to discern which battles are worth your time, and which are just noise, you protect your energy, your reputation, and your peace of mind. The strongest people are not the ones who fight the most. They are the ones who know when to walk away. They understand that engaging with certain people is a waste of time. They know that proving a point to someone who doesn't respect them is pointless, and that getting involved in unnecessary drama only holds them back. Think about it. How many times have you exhausted yourself trying to explain yourself to someone who wasn't listening? How many times have you gotten caught up in a conflict that left you feeling drained, frustrated, and no better off than before? That's the price you pay when you fight battles that aren't yours. That's the cost of letting people pull you into their negativity. Choosing not to fight doesn't mean you're weak. Doesn't mean you're scared. It means you're wise enough to know your energy is precious, that not everything deserves your reaction, and that you control how you respond. No one, absolutely no one, gets to dictate that. Some people are only looking for a reaction, not a resolution. They don't want to understand you. They just want to provoke you. They don't want to make things right. They just want to test how much control they have over you. The best thing you can do is not give them what they want. Let them talk. Let them assume. Let them believe whatever they want. Because at the end of the day, your life, your growth, and your peace are more important than winning an argument that leads nowhere. You have to ask yourself, does this battle serve me? Will this fight bring me closer to my goals, my peace, my purpose? Or is it just another distraction? Is it worth my time, my energy, my focus? If the answer is no, then let it go. Walk away, stay silent, and move forward. Because the real victories in life aren't won by fighting every battle. They are won by choosing the right ones. There's a version of you that exists beyond the noise, beyond the distractions, beyond the need to prove anything to anyone. That version of you is built in silence. Growth doesn't happen in chaos. It doesn't happen in constant conflict, endless explanations, or chasing people who don't value you. Growth happens when you step back, when you pull your energy away from things that drain you, when you sit with yourself, listen to yourself, and truly understand what you need. Silence is not just the absence of noise. It's the presence of awareness. When you stop talking, you start noticing things you never noticed before. You start paying attention to how people treat you, how they speak about you when you're not around, and how they react when you succeed. You start seeing who truly supports you and who only sticks around when it benefits them. The more you observe, the more you realize how much time you've wasted trying to explain yourself to people who weren't listening, arguing with people who had already made up their minds, and fighting for places that were never meant for you. In silence, you learn. You learn that not every argument is one you need to attend. You learn that the loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. You learn that not every battle is yours to fight. You learn that true power isn't in proving yourself to others, but in knowing who you are without their validation. Silence forces growth because it removes distractions. When you stop reacting, you gain clarity. You stop making decisions based on emotions and start making them based on wisdom. You stop seeking external approval and start listening to your inner voice. You stop defending yourself to people who misunderstand you and start building a life that speaks for itself. People will test your silence. They'll try to provoke you, force a reaction, and make you feel like you need to explain yourself. But when you choose silence, you are choosing to rise above. You are choosing to conserve your energy, to use your time wisely, and to focus on what truly matters instead of wasting it on things that don't serve you. Growth in silence is uncomfortable. It means walking away from conversations that don't elevate you, letting go of people who only drain you, and sitting with yourself to face your thoughts, fears, and doubts. But that's where transformation happens. That's where you begin to understand your true strength. Not everyone will understand your silence. Some may mistake it for weakness, others may assume you have nothing to say, and some may think they've won simply because you didn't react. But what they fail to understand is that silence isn't surrender. It's strategy. It's control. It's power. And in that silence, you are growing in ways they can't see. Growth isn't always loud. Strength isn't always visible. Power isn't always in words. Sometimes the greatest transformation occurs in the stillness, in the moments when you choose to stay quiet, to walk away, and to protect your energy. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it's a decision, a discipline, a declaration that you will no longer waste time on things that don't serve you. And in that silence, you evolve, you heal, and you rise. And when you do speak, your words will carry the weight of wisdom, the clarity of experience, and the undeniable presence of someone who no longer feels the need to prove anything to anyone.